Welcome, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're heading out to sea, metaphorically speaking. We're going to explore this really fascinating kind of hidden world right where the ocean surface meets the air.
Ah, the air-sea interface. Yeah, it's critically important.
Exactly. It's like this constant, invisible dance or maybe a tug of war between the wind and the water. And it shapes so much, right? Our climate, our weather.
Absolutely fundamental. We've known that for a long time.
But what's new, and this is the exciting part, is how scientists are using cutting-edge lasers now. They're actually seeing the tiny details of how energy moves between wind and waves for the very first time.
Seeing the mechanics of it.
Yeah, and they found not just one way energy moves, but two distinct patterns happening at the same time. And understanding this, well, it could seriously level up things like hurricane forecasts, maybe even predicting, localized extreme weather better. It's the small scale informing the huge scale.
That's the key takeaway, really. The exchange of energy, heat, gases,
Yeah.
it all happens right there. It drives so much globally. But, despite knowing its importance, the actual physics, the really fine-scale stuff, that's been a bit of a black box.
Until now, it seems.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
This new work fills a huge gap, a really critical one in our understanding of how the planet's systems work.
Okay, so let's get into this breakthrough. It comes from a collaboration led by Dr. Mark Buckley at the Huron Institute of Coastal Ocean Dynamics.
They do fantastic work there, focusing on coastal and ocean processes.
And they've come up with this incredibly powerful new method, basically, to visualize that air-sea interaction up close. So thinking about the challenge, seeing these tiny movements out on the ocean sounds almost impossible. Where did they even set this up, and what kind of gear are we talking about?
Yeah, it's quite the setup. They were on board in the FLP.
FOP.
Yeah, the Floating Instrument Platform. It's this unique research vessel, like a giant booby almost, that can literally flip vertically in the water. Gives you a super stable platform, relatively speaking.
Wow, okay, out in the Pacific.
Out in the Pacific, exactly. And they used a custom-built laser system. Very specialized. This let them get these incredibly detailed images of the airflow, not just near the water, but like millimeters to maybe a meter above the actual surface.
Millimeters, that's astonishing precision out there.
It really is. Think about trying to measure something that fine in a lab, let alone on a moving ocean. That precision, though, was absolutely crucial because it led them to their main discovery. Finding these two separate ways, wind and waves couple, happening simultaneously, but behaving very differently.
Two different mechanisms at once.
Yes. First, you've got the short waves. These are, roughly a meter long, maybe a bit less. And the key thing here, they actually travel slower than the wind blowing over them.
Slower than the wind. Okay.
Yeah. So as the wind hits the crest of one of these short waves, it kind of trips. It separates from the surface briefly. This creates a pressure difference. Lower pressure behind the crest, higher pressure on the windward side.
Ah, and that pushes the wave.
Exactly. It directly transfers momentum, energy, from the wind right into the wave. Gives it a shove.
Okay, that makes intuitive sense, like the wind catching a sail.
Sort of, yeah. But then you have the second mechanism.
Which involves the long waves.
Right. The really long ones. These can be, tens of meters, even up to 100 meters long. And here's the twist. These long waves often move faster than the wind right above them.
Faster? How can they move faster than the wind driving them?
Well, they have momentum from winds further away, or their swell waves generated elsewhere. Their movement actually generates its own airflow patterns near the surface. It's a different kind of interaction.
Huh. So it's not just the wind pushing the wave itself is influencing the air right above it in a unique way.
Precisely. And both things are happening at the same time across the ocean surface, just on different scales of waves.
Yeah.
Understanding this distinction, that it's not just one average effect, is huge for improving our models.
You mean like the big atmospheric and ocean circulation models?
Exactly. Those models need to represent this energy transfer accurately. If they only account for one type of interaction or just average it out, they're missing crucial physics.
Right. It's like trying to understand traffic by only looking at cars and ignoring the trucks or something.
That's a decent analogy, yeah. Two different dynamics you need to account for.
Okay, this is fascinating, but I'm still stuck on the how. How did they physically see these airflow patterns just millimeters above the waves? It boggles the mind.
It really is incredible technology. It's called Particle Image Velocimetry, PIV.
PIV, okay.
Yeah, it's a technique that's been used in fluid dynamics labs for a while, studying flows in controlled settings.
But never out on the open ocean like this.
No, this was the first time it's been successfully deployed like this, over the actual sea surface. That's the breakthrough.
So how does PIV work? In simple terms, lasers, you said.
Right. They use a sheet of green laser light. Imagine a thin, flat beam cutting vertically through both the air just above the water and the water itself.
Okay, a slice of light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then, to see the air moving, they introduce tiny water droplets into the air, like a very fine mist.
Like fog.
Sort of, yeah. These tiny droplets are so small they just follow the airflow perfectly. And when they pass through the laser sheet, they scatter the light.
Ah, so you can see where the air is moving by tracking the bright spots from the droplets.
Precisely. High-speed cameras capture images of these scattering droplets in rapid succession. Then software tracks the movement of groups of particles between frames, giving you a velocity map of the airflow.
Wow. And it works for the water, too.
Yes, that's the other clever part. That same green laser sheet penetrates the water surface. When the light hits the uneven, wind-driven water surface, it refracts, bends.
Right, like looking through wavy glass.
Exactly.
Oh.
And that refraction pattern reveals the shape, the structure of the water surface at that exact instant. So in the same image, you capture the airflow above the wave and the shape of the wave itself simultaneously.
That is ingenious,
Ah.
seeing both sides of the coin at once.
It really is. It lets them directly link the airflow patterns, like that separation over short waves, to the specific wave shape causing it.
And Dr. Buckley, the lead author, apparently said something about this being totally unprecedented, right? Measuring that close.
Yeah, I saw that quote. Until now, no one has measured the airflow this close to the ocean surface, let alone map the mechanisms of energy exchange at such a fine scale.
That really hits home just how groundbreaking this is, getting down to that fine scale.
Absolutely. He called it a physical frontier. And that's not hyperbole. We're seeing fundamental physics that we previously could only theorize about or approximate very roughly. These direct observations let scientists really test and advance the theoretical frameworks, develop much more accurate ways to describe these air-sea exchange processes in their models.
Because they were only partially understood before.
Exactly. We had bits and pieces, theoretical ideas, but not this kind of direct, detailed observation to confirm or refine them.
And the payoff, again, is better predictions. You can really see how this would directly feed into improving global climate models and, maybe more immediately, weather forecasting.
Definitely. If you can more accurately calculate how much energy the wind is pumping into the ocean or how waves affect wind near the surface, that improves the foundation of your forecast models, especially for things like storm intensity, wave heights, maybe even impacts on things like gas exchange.
So what's next for them? Are they going to keep refining this?
Yeah, apparently the team wants to enhance the system. They're looking at ways to track the water movement beneath the surface with greater precision, too.
Ah, so getting the full 3D picture of the interaction above and below the waves.
That seems to be the goal. There's still a lot more detail to uncover in that boundary zone.
Incredible stuff. And just for anyone wanting to read the source, the paper is Direct Observations of Airflow Separation over Ocean Surface Waves. It's by Mark Buckley and his colleagues, published in Nature Communications back in June 2025. So wrapping this up, what's the main thing you think people should take away from our dive today?
For me, it's really about seeing the unseen, how this clever use of laser technology, PIV, is letting us finally visualize this incredibly complex, energetic dance between wind and waves.
Yeah, that visualization is key. And understanding that it's not just one dance, but two distinct interactions happening simultaneously. The slow short waves getting pushed, the fast long waves doing their own thing with the airflow.
Right. And knowing that detail, that specific physics, is what's going to help us make much better predictions about our climate and weather systems. It's the micro-level detail feeding the macro-level understanding.
A perfect example of how focusing on the small scale can unlock big picture insights.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about how many critical planetary systems, climate, oceans, atmosphere, are driven by these kinds of forces operating at scales we're only just now starting to see clearly.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does. What other hidden frontiers, these tiny interactions we haven't observed yet, might be shaping our world in profound ways we can't even imagine right now?